This is K.O.P.A,
The roar, the pride,
brothers in boots.
we stood side by side. We built the league, we built a name. We played for love, not fortune or fame.
This is K.O.P.A,
Our hearts are song, the spirit leaves, it's never gone.
Yes, Ascobelia, welcome to another This is K.O.P.A. I'm still Mike Pieri is here, and Pieri, we have the special guest, 2 in 1. Bring them on.
Yes. Get one free. Buy one, get one free. Yes, my pleasure to introduce Kenny Dyer and Nick Eleftheriou. Not only Salamina legends, but K.O.P.A legends as well. Some amazing stories in store for us, I'm sure. Gentlemen, thank you for coming. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
All
It's a
good.
pleasure to be here.
All good, mate.
Yeah.
All good still.
Brilliant. Lovely to see you, gents. This is probably as close as I've got to you, because when I've come to play in the Vets game, all I'm seeing is your backs just running away. Yeah, can't get close to you. So it's good to be this close. Gentlemen, always the first question. How did you first get involved in K.O.P.A? Which clubs did you play for? Take us on that journey. Let's start with you first, Nick, and then we'll pass over to Kenny.
I didn't know much about K.O.P.A, but me and my older brother Aggie, we weren't bad footballers, but we were both on Tottenham's books. And I got released as a schoolboy at 16. My brother did quite well and played for the youth side. He's actually got his name in a few Tottenham programs that the boys mentioned to me later on in years, like Charlie, who are Tottenham supporters, and he's got a FA Youth semi-final where he's playing at White Hart Lane and Des Walker is sub and my brother's in the lineup. So he did really well, my brother. He was a good player. We both got released. I was at an age where I didn't know what I was going to do. My brother the same. And my brother went and joined Omonoia. So he thought he'd play for Omonoia. And me as a 16-year-old, I used to go and watch him play. And when I watched that Omonoia side, I mean, actually, your reels at the beginning of your program, it shows your Omonoia side in green top. My brother's in that picture. He was only young, but I remember he played for that side when he first left and started playing football in the Greek league. And I used to go and watch him play. And when I went to go and watch him play, I used to go Market Road. Mad Nick was the manager. They used to play midweek league and Sunday league, and they had unbelievable players. I couldn't believe the standard that they were playing. They had a guy called Italian Rob. They had like Andy Akdemi, Charlie Kiriakou, Big Panny, Little Panny. I don't know if you know these names, Little Panny Philakti. And they went on a trip to Cyprus and they played Omonoia. It was a big crowd. And some of the players didn't get to play in that game. And I remember my brother coming back. He was really upset. He played the whole season and Man Nick didn't play him. He played someone who he shouldn't be playing. So a few of those players from Omonoia, they were upset. They wanted to leave Omonoia and they wanted to come to Salamina. So Pani Ferrati wanted to join with Gurea, who was Salamina manager, and be joint managers to take over and play at Salamina. So they came round my brother's house. I'll never forget it. And they were going, to my brother Aggie, you got to sign for Omonoia. And, you got to come, we'll go and we'll start and, we'll try and do something. And I was just in the background. He said, did your brother play? He said, yeah, he's not a bad little foot. He goes, bring him along as well. And I thought, oh, God, well, so I used to go and watch them. I used to kick the ball around watching them. Unbelievable standard. And they all came to Salamina and I started training with Salamina. I didn't know the players. I was only a young kid, 16 years old. And they had players like Danny Bailey there, Trevor Bailey, Blondie. And I was in awe of the standard that they were. So I started training with them. Then Goodell put me on for about 20 minutes. And I played really well. And there was a player called Andy Akdemi. I don't know if you remember him. He played for Omonoia and Salamina. And he goes, who the hell is this little 16-year-old going to take my place? So by 17, I was playing for Salamina first team. Kenny came a few years after that, if I remember. And, it was when we were umming and ahhing whether to join Salamina, there was a committee member that came round to our house, and I didn't know this. He said to me, "Look, you know your dad comes from our village. He comes from Salamina. You've got to play for." I didn't know. I didn't even know this. So when I obviously joined Salamina, I got to know the committee. They're telling me stories about my dad's village, and so it obviously meant a lot more to me. That's where my parents came from. So that's hence why I stayed for 17 years playing for Salamina. So it was a long time. I saw a lot of squads. We had a lot of good players. Sometimes we won the league. Sometimes we won the cup. But you know, it was a toss between AL, sometimes Omonoia, us. But all the teams in K.O.P.A were strong. And it was such a great, the friendships that we've still got from that K.O.P.A is unbelievable. Unbelievable. It was, you know, for a lot of us, it was the crowds, the atmosphere, the camaraderie. I mean, how many years I've known these guys. I mean, I don't know, Mike, you remember not long ago, we had a little charity match for Danny.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about all that. So, so that was your journey, how you got to Salamina. Kenny, what about you? Tell us about how you got into K.O.P.A. What's your journey like? I'm sure your parents weren't from Salamis.
No, they weren't. To be honest, very few people, I think, except for those people that were there when I played for my very first club ever, was Nea Salamina in South London. And how I got there, I was at Charlton, playing training twice a week, and playing on the weekends. And I was a painter decorator, and I was doing a Cyprus house, and he said, "You play football?" I goes, "Yeah, of course I do." He went, "I've got a team, come play for us." I went, "Oh no, I don't really, you know, I ain't got the time and things like this," because I was busy with Charlton, trying to make an apprentice, you know. And he went, "No, just come down." So I went with him over to South London, and I played for Nea Salamina for about a year and a bit. They were my first ever club, and not many people know this. Everybody thinks I'll play for Salamina. But not only did when I left Nea Salamina, right, another one of my gentlemen I met when I was doing his house, Cyprus, he took me down in offices.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was in offices for 1 week. And I remember little Marios, 1 week. Little Marios. Yeah. 1 week I was at an office. I didn't like it. I went training, I think once, I didn't like it. And then he said, "Look, I've got another club." Right, and took me and went down to Salamina, and the rest was history, you know. And yeah, Nea Salamina was my first ever club, and I've never looked back. Always, well, put it this way, I always remember where I came from. All right, and I'll get back onto that later on in tonight's topic. I'll never forget where I come from. My first ever club was Nea Salamina, and I spent a week with an offices. And then I moved on to Salamina, and the rest was history. Is history. Yeah. So
Anopos' loss was a huge game for Salamina. Gents, what are your earliest memories? Playing for Salamina. Obviously, Nick, you've touched on that already. But what are your earliest memories in terms of where you trained, who you played with, who you played against? The stadiums, the pitches. What are your earliest memories?
Listen, our memories, there's so many. We played pitches like, obviously, New River, Market Road, Broomfield Park, Wadham Lodge. We played them all, there's a story on every pitch, and Douglas, yeah. We played on a lot of pitches. The memories, I mean, you got to understand, we played a lot of maybe semi-pro or got involved in football, but it's amazing when you find the Greek league and you found K.O.P.A, it's like you didn't want to leave it. You had your friends, you played with a relaxed, when you come from an environment of like where it's pressure and you've got to perform and am I going to make it? You go away from it and you're just playing with your friends and you're enjoying it. And you play with that freedom. It's totally different thing. And then you join someone like Salamina, and then they tell you stories like you're talking, your manager's talking to you, and you're talking about a guy called Diego Correa, who played for Olympiacos, played for Salamina in London, and was famous, or I don't know if he wants to be famous for this, but he was the guy who was marking Malcolm McDonald when he scored 5 goals at Wembley. Now, that's an amazing thing. The guy's played at Wembley. So when he's telling you, Nick, get back, or Nick, get that crossing, you listen to him. Yeah, I mean, we used to rib him about it because a long time ago we used to have we had a clubhouse at Haringey, Salamina, and then we had the clubhouse in Winchmore Hill. And I remember we're going back in the day now where we used to tape things on VHS. And I don't know how I managed it. Ian St. John was on, and I quickly put the tape in, and it taped Malcolm McDonald scoring the 5 goals. So he used to always have a go at defenders, get rid of it, get rid of it. So I said, boys, I've got gold here. They go, what? I stuck this video on, and all the boys were watching. And Goodell was just lifting his hands up. The goals were going in, and he's just lifting it up. I go, what are you lifting your hands up for? He just scored. So we had a little joke and a rib about him about that. But you've got to admire the guy for what he's achieved. So you've got to respect that. And we loved him as a manager. We're going to meet up with him. We'll talk about it later when we go to Cyprus, because he moved to Cyprus, and it'd be nice to see him again. And, it's just great memories. There's so many great stories and memories that, you've got to, I mean, only recently I heard from somebody else that, the Nottingham Forest chairman, Marinakis.
Yeah.
I just found that from his son, who phoned me the other week in Cyprus, because he said, we're going to meet up with his dad and Correa. And he said, do you know when he was studying over here, he lived with Correa, Marinakis of Nottingham Forest. And I thought, where do you get these stories from? It's and it's unbelievable how things come round full circle, because obviously he's associated with Olympiacos, and Correa's played for Olympiacos. And it's just amazing. So you still hear stories and connections that the K.O.P.A League, it's amazing how the network is. It's amazing. It's good stuff.
Brilliant. What about you, Kenny? What are your earliest memories at Nea Salamina, as you told us about that, but also I think most prominently at Salamina? What are your earliest memories there?
Well, when I first went to, I always said this, when I never take football, any team that I played for granted, no matter who's the manager, who's a player, players are. With me, I always meant to always put myself, play the best football I can, right? And I never bet myself, think I'm better than anybody else. So when I first went to Salamina, I knew Danny and Trevor from the streets around Hackney and Walthamstow. Knew Danny and Trevor. So when I walked in the change room and saw Nick, his brother Aggie, Blondie, Gwen, Charlie, Blondie, and all these, Vavados, I never knew whether I'm going to be in the starting 11 or not, no matter how good a player I was, right? But I appreciated the players that were in that changing room, right? And I think that's what held Salamina together for all these years. No matter whether you were Kenny Dyer or Nick Eleftheriou or Aggies or Blondie or Danny or Trevor or Gwen or Tony Constantinidis or no matter who you are, you could be on the bench. No matter whether we're playing IL, KLN, Gobi, no matter who we're playing, you weren't guaranteed of playing, right? And that's what I loved about playing in the K.O.P.A League for Salamina, especially on a Sunday and even in the midweek league on a Wednesday.
That was a good standard,
which is a great standard. You're never guaranteed of playing, right? And I became a better player. All-round better player playing in the K.O.P.A League, right? Because I had to. It was a different way of playing. Playing with Cyprus players, the atmosphere was different from even playing semi-pro on a Saturday, or even playing when I was playing trying to get into apprentice at Charlton. It's completely different. And if you don't appreciate what's in front of you, right, and you don't value the players around you in that change room, and don't value the league that you play in, which is K.O.P.A League, right? And the teams that you play against, right? Because I never took them for granted. And that's where I excelled as a player, right? And then again, we get into that later on, and that's where further on in my career, we're going to Cyprus, I just excelled because I understand the Cypriot mentality, the culture, you know, and yeah, that held me in good stead. So I appreciate everything that where I've come from, and the players, even yourselves, even playing when Nick calls me up to play in the father side. You know, Nick, what are you doing? What am I playing? Yeah, come on, I need you. We only got 4 players. When I go there, we got 12. Do you know what I mean? So
Nick, stop calling them up to those 5-a-sides. It's embarrassing for us youngsters.
He's still like he's 25 years old. He's unbelievable, isn't he? I know.
Yeah, so no.
Brilliant. I'm sure Stel's going to talk to you about how playing in the K.O.P.A League, which you just said, how it helped you in Cyprus, because you know that's Stel's speciality. But gents, before I pass you over to Stel, tell us about the toughest teams or players you came up against, whether it was in training at Salamina and playing against some of these great teams. Because you know what I always say when we're on this show, when we talk about your era, that was was the golden era.
The golden era.
It was the golden era.
Agree.
I mean, we had great teams after. We had great teams at the beginning when we were starting it. But your era really was the golden era. So talk to us, gents, about the toughest opponents, the teams, and how it felt being in such a competitive but also good standard of football.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you got the ILs, you got K.O.P.A League, you got Gregory. I know Nick's gonna, concur from
Gregory
that.
was my favourite.
You've got Athletic. Was it Brian Hines? You've got Mario. You've got Anophases. You've got who is it? KLN. You had
Brahimi, Paul Bryan.
You had Willie.
Willie was unbelievable.
You know, you had Willie got legs like
tree trunks,
like Gerd Muller. You know, and what a player he was. You know, it's hard. It's hard. You know, if nowadays technology's all over the place. You know, you got VOs, you got everything's recorded and things like that. Stats and things like that. I really, honestly wish we had that technology back then, because you'll be sitting at home watching. Oh, remember this game? Oh yeah, right back. You will be recording every single game back then, right? And it will be in the memories. But it wasn't. So all we've got now is like what we're talking about, and it was. I embraced every single player. Let's go to when we beat IL in is it Challenge Cup?
Challenge Cup.
In the Challenge Cup at New River. Was it 3-1?
Yeah.
Right? They were firm favourites. Right? And I had one of my best games ever.
Scored 2 headers. You scored 2 headers.
Two headers. Everyone speak. I heard Shaq speaking the other day about how dirty he was, but he wasn't dirty. He was just a good player, and I loved playing against him. It was me as a midfield player against Shaq and against any other player that's in front of me, right? I know Tony Pony. I saw Tony Pony. He's still trying to fix his nose, right? But that's Tony's fault. But you got now to play these players. But some great players. I don't know.
Yeah, listen. For me, the sides that we had to beat were AL at that time. If we beat AL, it means we were top dogs. But AL had Mad Nick, Shoebox as manager. But the player that I always struggled with, and I always come out and go, shit, man, we've got Tony Martin today. Tony Martin was a centre back for AL. What a brain! I think he was on QPR's books. The guy was just silky, class. Never dived in, never rash challenge. He stood off you, and he made you think about what you were going to do rather than the other way around. So I always remember Tony Martin. I remember Gregory of AL, really classy player. You had different. You've got people ask me, and I said, when you played football in the Greek league for 15, 17 years for the same side, you come across your team evolves and changes. So you get changes in your, and you see other teams changing. So there was a Omonoia, which had K.O.P.A, who was unbelievable player, all-rounder, great. His brother-in-law, Prod, was underestimated. I don't know if you guys remember Prod, he was a Therion. He was unbelievable. And you had my type of players were those flair players. You had players like Chini and Bubbles, Kulamanu, they played for Omonoia. George,
Pani Panayiotis,
great players. So Omonoia always had a strong side. Athletic, not a lot of people remember Athletic, but Athletic had a very good, strong team at one point when Mihaly was their manager. I remember playing a game against them at New River, and I've never seen New River. We came out to warm up, and the whole of New River, I'm talking about, Wolves Lane, there's a hill bit on Wolves Lane. Even all the back of that was filled all the way around, 3,000 people. And I'm thinking, what the hell? Where did this was midweek, a midweek cup game. And I thought, where have all these people? But that's the interest that it got. So, the crowds were always coming. The committees, which we can touch on that, is a thing I regret, because the committees in those days were so passionate. They were behind us. We had a big following. It's a shame that our generation couldn't keep that on, or there weren't enough Greek players coming through, because K.O.P.A, I still get people stopping me. Do you remember that game? Do you remember that goal? And I say, I don't remember sometimes, because we take it for granted as players. We play the game, but they're the ones that are watching it. They enjoy it so much, and they remember every little thing about it. So K.O.P.A has got a lot of, it's a great thing that happened. It's a shame that it ended. And all we've got is the friendships that we've got that stems from that. Yeah, because I played as a 16-year-old in 85, and I'm still in touch with these guys. 85.
So 88 was when you won the cup against AL. And then, you mentioned Athletic. Athletic don't get much of a mention in our podcast, to be honest. But the next season, they beat you in the cup final. They beat you in the cup final the season after.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So they also had a great team. They had a good following as well, and they had players. I mean, they had a guy up front for them, Junior Samuels, who played for Boreham Wood, and Brian Hines, and it was Gary, the player in the midfield. They had, they had players. They had good players as well. Back in the day, they had a little player called Jimmy Kukuri. We're going back in, ages ago. But unfortunately, they were always famous for. there was a wacko thing where you remember in America there was this thing.
David Koresh.
Oh yeah.
One of their players,
Texas.
I can't remember. One of their players was involved in that, and we were all hearing in the Greek league, "Oh my God, he's one," And he was marking me the week before. I'm thinking, blood. So there's always, you'll always get these stories that happened in K.O.P.A that were amazing. That they're unbelievable. There's stories with Les Ferdinand. There's so many stories. There's so many stories.
Brilliant. Stel, your turn.
I don't know how to follow on from that, to be honest, because we started this podcast and we didn't. I don't think we kind of understood how it could spiral out of control in terms of the amount of people that have been following it and people messaging us and telling us their stories. And Mike just asked one question and both of your eyes lit up, and it just flowed and I could tell from the body language and from the enthusiasm in your voices how much this league meant to you guys. And I could ask you the same question as I've asked people before, in the sense of, well, what did it do for your lives? How did it benefit you from a social perspective? But you've answered those questions straight away, and I think it's remarkable how, not just you two, but everyone else that follows us or has been part of the show still feel that fire, the K.O.P.A fire. So I'm going to try and change my question a little bit. What could you have done different then? If you look back on your time playing within the K.O.P.A League, what would you have done different? It could be just like your pre-game ritual. I don't know. I'm struggling to ask a question here, right? Honestly.
What could have done different? I mean, what could I have done different? There isn't much I could have done different. With Salam, you got
no regrets.
It's with no regrets. Whether it's training, whether it's like Nick mentioned, we had absolutely awesome committee. Absolutely from top to bottom, left to right. They were all they loved the football, all for the team, all for the players. The recruitment were bringing in new fresh blood year after year after year after year. Nick was here before me, like I said before. But when I arrived, it was great players in front of me, not just foreign players, but Cypriot players themselves. You know, and even, you know, coming behind me, there was more coming. You know, so it was that strong. I'm to believe in when I say K.O.P.A League was that strong, right? And I looked, even though I was playing on a Saturday, whether it's for Charlton or whoever, right? Sunday seemed to be twice as hard. It was twice as hard as Saturday, you know. But you still had to put that effort in, you know. And could I do anything different?
I think,
for me personally, I love the whole. I love the journey.
I think you could never have regrets. I mean, listen, in life you do things. You know, you do a lot of things when you're younger. You do different things when you're older. I mean, I'll tell you a funny story. Danny, we won the league. We went on tour. I think we won the league when I first joined it, when I was young, 17, and we went on tour. They got us a hotel room in Cosmos, Larnaca, right near the club. Right, it was right bang. The hotel was next door to the club in Larnaca, and we Goodell was saying, you're not allowed out. You're not allowed to go out. Now, you had players like Danny Bailey, who went on to become a professional footballer with Exeter City. Yeah. Now, so Danny would pull me aside. There were two great players that played for Sunderland when I first got there. It was Serge and Paul Bavlou. Yeah. Now, Serge and Paul Bavlou are like the godfathers of Salamina. They, when Salamina first started, they were head and shoulders above other players. That's what I didn't catch them in their peak, but people have told me they were unbelievable. You might hear stories about Serge and Paul. Now, Serge and Paul were old school. Let's go and have a drink. Let's go and have tequila. Let's do it. So Danny, who's a professional, Nick, I don't want you mixing with them. I don't want you going out with them. It's because Danny was, and the difference, like you saw with the Greek mentality and people like Kenny and Danny, they were disciplined. And that's probably why they went on to do what they've done in their careers. And maybe, so when you say about regrets, there's a part of me, there's a good and a bad. And maybe I should have listened to Danny more and not gone out with Serge and Paul more. So that's my only regret. I went down that road a little bit more than what I should have.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. Listen, I can't argue with that. Your choice, your opinions. Now, you mentioned the amount of supporters there were or people watching games, especially the one at New River. At what point did you both realize how big K.O.P.A was? Not just in terms of size, but also what it meant to the community as a whole. Was there a specific moment?
Yeah, I think. What you've got to understand is the supporters and the committee members. They would talk about, if we were playing AO on Sunday, they wouldn't think about it Saturday night. They'd be talking about it all week. You've got AO in a week's time. They will be talking about it on the streets. We're here tonight. I'm here in Haringey Borough. We're using their boardroom to do this from, because Tom Loizu, who's the manager of Haringey Borough, played for Omonoia with my brother. I've known him since I was 13 years old, Tom Loizu. We all know Tommy, yeah? Now, we used to work together putting up signs, shop signs. And we'd go around the Greek community putting up shop signs when I was a kid. And you'd go, just for example, we'd go to Camden and there's a guy called Giggs. I don't know if you remember a guy called Giggs. He lives in Cyprus and they used to look like George Michael, Pat Sharp, Giggsy. Yeah, he lives in Cyprus. He played for Hermes. Yeah. Now he had a cafe. Next door to that cafe was a hairdresser called Tony Portu, who played for Salamina a little bit. His dad was an Onothesis committee member. So when we go and put up the sign and stop off there, they'd be talking about the game. They could be having bets with each other, friendly bets, one-upmanship, whatever it was. So by the time it got to Sunday, about 50 people had a little, we're going to get you on Sunday. So the game became a bit spicy between them. Not, and they'd tell us about it. So you make sure you win today. I've got one of my best friends. I told him we're going to beat you lot. And it got a bit, it got a bit spicy. The game would get spicy. You could feel it before the game. Yeah. So the other thing is some of us, when I was 17, we represented the Greek league side, and we used to play against the Turkish league side. Now those games were very, used to get very big crowds, and they were very emotional. I remember one time a Turkish supporter, he had a heart attack because he was so into the game, and the ambulance came and took him away. So that was a memory that I remember of a big game when the Greek side used to play against the Turkish league side, and Willie used to play against this Willie that we said that played for K.O.P.A played for the Turkish side. So I don't know if you remember Hakan, who played for Wickham. These players, and that used to get spicy because they had good Turkish players, we had good Greek players, and obviously we know there's going to be a rivalry between Turkish Cypriots and Greek Cypriots. So that game was always spicy. That was a memory that I never forget. And I remember we played at Wolverhampton. I was 18. I never played for the league side. I came on a sub, and little me scored a diving header to win the game. I never forget that. At Wolverhampton.
You headed the ball.
Yeah, I headed the ball. God, I don't know how I did that. But I remember the supporters' faces. I just got, God, man, this means so much to them. And that is one of my biggest memories, apart from playing big games for Salamina. That was a big memory.
You headed the ball.
I remember Chris Carley mentioned the trip to Amsterdam as well. I remember Chris Carley mentioned.
What are your memories of that? Go on then, Nick. What are your memories of that?
That was, again, we had Varnava as our manager. Now, Varnava was an international goalkeeper for Cyprus. I think he played at Hampden Park. He's got a lot of experiences that you got to respect as well. But he was a disciplinarian. And when Dinos Travel took this league side into the red light district in Amsterdam, he went ballistic. I've never seen anyone go so mad in my life. I thought he was going to just cancel the trip and tell her that slowly the players goes, don't worry, we'll be disciplined. We won't do anything. That was an amazing trip. But yeah, Kip was there, Mario Cipriano, Carly, Andy Sava. That was a good trip as well. Peter Lucraft. Do you remember Peter Lucraft played for AL?
Yeah.
There were the I think the standard at that time, I'd say a majority of half of our league could have easily been playing semi-professional easily. That's the standard it was in those days. Easy. Yeah. So good times, good memories.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And Kenny, what about yourself? You being a non-Cypriot, seeing all of those people and what it meant to them. How did it make you feel?
Well, I just felt it made me feel welcome. First of all, it's like, I've always been adaptable. And when I'm playing for no matter what team I'm playing for, where I am in the world, I can adapt to whatever country. Now, all of a sudden, I'm playing for a Cypriot club, and the clubhouses in Haringey, there's Cypriots all over the place, right? And we used to go in the clubhouse. I see in the clubhouse every week, right? And I never paid for a thing up to this day. I think, how long was Salamina? 2 years? To about 2 years.
3 years, yeah.
For 2-3 years. I never paid for a thing. They wouldn't allow me to pay for anything, And I just felt welcome. And I used to watch them playing Gunga, Tavli, and I was want to learn how to.
Come on.
They were moving too fast. So you throw the dice and bang, 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 and I was trying to pick it up, but we'll teach you later. We'll teach you later, you know, and things like that. So I was embraced in the culture, and I loved it because it's very similar and close to the Caribbean culture. My mum's Jamaican, my father's from Montserrat. Montserrat is a Caribbean island next door to Antigua, you know. So, and I like that togetherness, that family what's the word?
Camaraderie.
Yeah, camaraderie.
Yeah.
I love that. And Cyprus and Greece have that in abundance, you know. And you know, I felt very welcome. And you know, if I feel welcome, and I'll give it back. You will see it in me, you know. So that is you know, that's me, and that's what it gave me.
He can speak better Greek than us, believe me. When he goes to Cyprus, I need it.
Siga. Delia, perfect. Thank you. That's great. That's great. Mihaly.
Yes. So Kenny, as you know, you're going to take us on your journey now beyond the K.O.P.A League, and I guess people have said this before to you. I'm going to say it as well, you know, publicly, that you know, when we have players on your standard who've gone on to play, you know, in Cyprus pro level, you know, there's a pride for us that you were one of ours in the K.O.P.A League, and you went on to bigger and better things. So you know, it is an amazing thing what you did. Take us on that journey. You know, when you were from the K.O.P.A League, and you went to Cyprus, and then your other clubs. Tell us how, you know, tell us about that journey and the differences and the similarities.
Right. Where did it all start? It all started, you know, the game. Like I said, we Challenge Cup when we beat IL. Now, after that happened, is a week later, I had a phone call from Banai. You know, he's passed now. One of the brothers of Aristi and Athos, and he said, "We need to see you down the come down to the factory at the factory down in Haringey." So I went there, went in all the they're making clothes and the machines were going and everything. He went and he goes, "Come in the office." So I went in the office, and Banai was sitting down there with Athos. All the brothers were sitting there, Aristi, and he said to me, "All right, we want you to go to Cyprus." And I went, "Okay." I went to play for who? He goes, Nea Salamina. I went, "Okay. And what do you think?" And I said, "Okay, yeah, I would love to go." You know, but I didn't know anything about, you know, Cyprus football. You know, I didn't know much about Cyprus itself, except for I knew about the incident, the war in 74. So I knew about that. And then I said, before I give a decision, I've got to go and talk to my mum. That's exactly what I said. I've got to go and ask my mum. Right. So I said, give me a couple of days. I don't think it was a Thursday or a Friday. It was the end of the week. You know, so I went home and I spoke to mum. I went, "Mum, Salamina, they want me to go to Cyprus." And my mum's like, she's always said to us, like, "Look, whatever you want to do in life, if you want to go, you go." So I went back and I told them, "Look, yes, I want to go." And next minute, we want to fly out in 10 days. So I went, they got me a ticket. All right, I flew to Cyprus, arrived in Larnaca, the old airport, of course. And I was looking for my suitcase, and a gentleman touched me on the shoulder. He goes, "Kenny?" I was, "Yeah." "Oh, my name's Yoga Liz. I am part of the Salamina committee. Welcome to Cyprus. How many bags you've got?" I went, "I've just got 2 bags." So I've got 2 bags, and I'm going to take you to the hotel. And then we're going to go down to the training ground. So as we're sort of got my suitcase off the conveyor belt, right, I turned around and I saw massive TV camera, right, and it had PIK, which is Rick, you know. And they asked Yoga, "Hey, excuse me, G'day Yoga Liz, can we have a word with the new player of Salamina?" So I pick up things very quickly, right? I only went to Cyprus for a trial. I didn't know anything about new player. So obviously the reporters had something completely different in mind. So I goes, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, can he say a few words?" So the cameraman's like with his big camera, and the reporter's, you know, he's got the mic in front of me. He went, "Welcome to Cyprus." I went, "Thank you very much." He goes, "What do you hope to achieve in your first year of playing for Salamina?" So I'm very diplomatic. I'm very sharp. I went, well, my first year, you know, hopefully I'll train well and, you know, and play the best football as I can and with my new players and learn new things and hopefully win the league and win the cup. Now, when I said win the league and win the cup, the cameraman was like this, right? When I said win the league and win the cup, he went, he took it away, right, and looked at me, all right? And like, I pick up things very quickly. I went, he's going to say, what are you talking about? So he went, thanks very much. And so we was walking out. You know, we come at the airport, the 2 doors open, there's all the people there, welcome. Now, this was unbelievable. Let me tell you something. This has never, ever happened to me ever in my life. And it almost brought tears to my eyes. And I walked out, and all I saw was red and white. And people shouting, Kenny, Kenny. And I got people putting scarves around my neck. This woman looked like someone's give me flowers and kissing me on the cheek and Salamina, Salamina, Salamina. And I'm thinking, I just come here in a trial. Do you know? And it was it took about a good 6 minutes to get from, I mean, the airport's not big, to get from when the doors open out where all the taxis are. And it was unbelievable. And all the people, the tourists are going, who's this guy? You know? But anyway, got in the taxi, went down to Mackenzie, stayed in the Sandcastle Hotel. And Jorgli said, I'll pick you up in about an hour. We go down the training ground. So I went, okay, fair enough. So picked him up in about an hour, went down the training ground. And Yorgos, another Yorgos was the kit man. He was saying, shook my hand. He goes, come here, come outside the training, open the doors to the training field. And I saw 4 people. One was Andres Moscali, right? He was watching Nigel McNeil, who used to play for Balk.
No, Nigel played for Balk in the Greek league in Agri in K.O.P.A.
Yeah, in K.O.P.A, right? He was doing one-on-one with Flores Nicolaou, who I found out was a national team captain. Okay, and the goalkeeper was Yanagis, right? Rest in peace. Now he's passed away. Now Nigel was just doing one-on-one, and Moscali came up to me. He looked me up and down like this. He goes, you know, looked sizing me up, and he went, welcome to Cyprus. He went, how's the flight? I went, yeah, it was good. He went, you okay? I went, yes, yes, yes. He went, go and get changed. And I went, get changed. I went, I just landed. He went, no, go and get changed. Go and get kit. He goes, you're going to go and get him some kit. All right. So he went, I haven't got no boots. He went, what size are you? I said, size 9. He went, Yorgos, Saranda Tria Babucha. Ella. So he got me a brand new Copa Mundials at the cupboard, brand spanking new. Gave me a pair of shorts, socks at the top. Now went out there, and Moscali, San Nick Andres Moscali, went, just do some stretching, done some running. Goes, you all right? And then he called Nigel out. Right, and I knew Nigel from the Greek league. Right, and Nigel goes, Nigel went, oh, good luck, enjoy your one-on-one. So Flores was there, shook his hand. He goes, right. He goes, so I took the ball, 1-1, dropped the shoulder, step over, bang, Flores blocked it. Another one, bang, shot, Yanagi's goalkeeper caught it. So I was a corner of the 18-yard box. I went step over right, step over left, right, outside of my left again, and I bent it with my left foot. Yanagi's flew, it went stanchion there. The ball was postage stamp, right? I could see Yanagi's his fingernails growing, extending to try and save it, right? We went right in the top corner. We went bang. And when it went in, Nigel at the sideline, I could hear it. Oh. It was like this. He went, national team captain. Said to Flores, looking out. All right. And then Muscali went, all right, Gunny, stop. And that was it. So I went in the change room, and Yanagis, the goalkeeper, he started, went, bana yamo, Kenny. Oh, bana yamo, shootar en galo, bana yamo. And then Nigel went, hey, Kenny, do you know this guy who you scored against? I went, yeah, no, goalkeeper. He goes, no, the one in front of you. He's the national team captain.
Separate captain.
Yeah, separate captain. And so that was unbelievable. So a couple of days, that was a Friday, Saturday. So full training session was a Tuesday. Right, it's an opening session, training session for the supporters and everything. All the players, there's about 30 odd players there. Right, so I went in the changing room. No words news got round very quickly. Because when I went to training on a Tuesday, went in the changing room, right? Nigel goes, "This is your peg, come sit here with me," right? All the players started shaking my hand. Vassal Mavro, you know, at Temi's, "Oh, Kenny, welcome to the club. Great what you did to the captain." Right?
Showed up the captain.
Everybody was congratulating me, and Flores was getting changed. He's looking at me, he's eyeballing me, right? So anyway, we went out on the training field, done a little warm up. And Muscali was doing some keep ball, 2-team keep ball, massive open session game. And Muscali shouted, "Gatside," right? And I stood and looked at Muscali in the eye. And I looked around, everybody was on the floor, right? And I was just standing there looking around, right? And all the supporters started laughing. Everybody was on their backside. I was the only one standing alongside Muscali, right? So Muscali went 10, he went push-ups. I went down, gave him 10 push-ups, got back up. He restarted the game again, right? And then I heard, "Gatside," I heard that word again. And I went, bang, down quickly, right? And Muscali looked down at me, he went, right? And all the supporters went, "Hey," because I understood and I reacted, you know. So that was my first few days in Salamina. And then I had a meeting on that same week, the Friday, they called me in. And they said, I went in the boardroom, everyone was here. Yofanos, the whole committee was on a long table. And they said, "Right, we want you to sign 3 years straight," right? And I looked at this contract, right? And I went, "Hey, I don't understand." It was all in Greek, right? So Muscali looked at the committee, he went, "Hey, Ingleso. Ingleso. You know what I mean? Because I didn't understand the word. It was all written in Greek, right? So they looked at each other, they went, bum, bum, bum. It gives a couple of days. They redone it again, right? They explained what it was, bum, bum, bum. And I said, "I need to fly home and for a couple of days." I liked what it was in the contract. I said, I need to go home because I haven't got nothing with me. I just bought one bag and things like that. So Muscali, he understood. Muscali is very, very clever with players. He's very, very clever with players. He said, "Look, leave today. I'll give you 4 days, come back." Blah, blah, blah. So I called my mum, said, "Mum, I'm going to stay in Cyprus on the signing stay. I'm going to come back."
Sounds like a contract from Brian Clough. That's a contract Brian Clough.
I'm going to go home and stuff and get my suitcase, come back. When I went home, I think my mum packed my suitcase already. You know what I mean? I said, "Mum, you want me out of the house?" She goes, "No, it's the beginning of a journey." That's what she said to me. It's the beginning of a journey. So that was the first couple of
That's your interaction into Salamina. And then, guys, you've got to understand, we won that final. Kenny scored 2 great headers at it. I mean, as a team, I think that was the best performance I ever remember from all of our players. That night, New River against AL, they couldn't touch us. Everyone played well. I mean, even Yabado played well.
Even Nick Yabados played centre half.
Yeah, we couldn't believe how well he played. I don't know how. I didn't even remember that he was in the team that day. But anyway, so you've got to remember, then Kenny left. We were obviously upset because we lost Kenny. But you've got to understand, he was over there. He was progressing. And before you know it, they were in a cup final against Omonoia. So you got to think, we're all over here. And the committee, they've got into a final. We got to go. We got to go. Kenny's out there. We're Salamina supporters. We got to go. So us as players, the committee just go, "We're paying for your ticket, Nick. You're coming with us." I had no say in it. You're coming with us. So I've got a picture of us all outside the aeroplane, all the committee. I think Andy Sava. Do you remember Andy Sava? Hercules played for Anofosi and Omonoia. He was with us at the time, and Vadvaro came. George Vaz was our keeper. And I went, and all the committee. And I went to that cup final. They played Omonoia. Was it at the Sirio? Sirio, Limassol. Yeah. I've been to a lot of games in my life. I've never known an atmosphere like that in my life. I remember the whole stands were shaking. I thought the stands were going to break. So I remember the night before, because that was a big game. And I said to Kenny, we sat down. I said, "Kenny, please. Salamina have never won anything. You must be under pressure." I said, "Just please don't freeze. Whatever you do, just play your game." And I swear to God, he was man of the match. I couldn't believe how well he played that day. And I never forget the game. Brilliant. I never forget that memory. And I mean, the whole of Larnaca came to a standstill. We were like in the car behind you when we come back with the players, and Finiguez, I've never known anything like it, because obviously Salamina have never won. I think they've still got they've got his team photos up still in the clubhouse at Mohostel Stadium now. So, you know, it's unbelievable what they, and we were
Nick, on that trick, wasn't there an experience with a chauffeur-driven car or something?
What we
or
were
was that you driving? Or was that you driving, Kenny?
No, the night before is where the funny story with that. I'll tell you a funny story about that. We went into a sweet shop before we were going to go into a cup final. All the committee were going. We were all in it. We had the big, like, little coach, and they wanted to go in the shop to get their cigarettes. Typical Greek committee members. Then they went into the shop,
or Royals,
and the Royals, and the guy who, unfortunately, we got this thing in. You know, it's politically. Salamina, you know, politically, the guy who owned the sweet shop was an Anofossi fan and said, "I hope you lose." And before you know it, one of our committee smacked him one, and he was ambulances coming, everything, police. So I said, "What'd you do that for now? We're not going to watch the final." Police came, and the funniest thing, I'll never forget it as long as I live. He stood us all up in a line, and in them days, all our committee had beards, all of them. We're talking about Bolidagi, Luca, Mario, they passed away. Arthur, I don't know if you know Arthur. Arthur's been involved in Salamina committee since a year, a guy that really we need to praise a lot, because from day one to the end of Salamina's history and still tried to take them into semi-pro, that guy is unbelievable. He was there as well. And the police come and they said to the sweet shop owner, "Which guy done it? Which guy hit you?" And he said it was the one with the beard. And I was the only one who never had a beard in about a 12 lineup. I said, "Well, hey, it's not me then." And in the end, they couldn't identify who hit the guy. So, and then in Cyprus, like, you know, it's not who you know, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And another guy come who was a sergeant in Larnaca. He was a Salamina supporter, and he said, "No, boys, just go, I'll let you off." And, you know, again, you know, things that happen in Cyprus that you wouldn't believe. But that experience, I mean, for Kenny, how you must have felt in that game must have been.
Yes, I mean, a lot of people.
Kenny, before the game, tell us about the driving incident before the game.
Oh, God.
Look,
we went
the night before the game, we're down at the clubhouse, right? Down at the clubhouse, the boys there. I was taking them to some bar, and I was going to go home. So we're down on the airport road, and we've gone past Stevens rental car, traffic lights. And I
remember them traffic lights.
The lights changed. As I'm approaching the lights, I've got Nick in the car, Vavodos in the car. Who else is in the car?
Giggs, Andy Sava,
all in the car, right? In my car. So the lights had changed. But you know what it's like in Cyprus.
Yeah, they don't.
Right? The Cyprus,
red means go. Red means go.
Start edging out. I went, so my lights are green and he's still going, right? And bang, right? And as soon as I've gone bang, oh no, right? My immediately thoughts were, I should be in bed.
Was it red? It was a red car.
I had a red Mitsubishi. Yeah, my immediately thoughts, right? It was about 9:30 at night. I should be in bed, all right? And the police are going to come. So I don't know where the committee came from, all right? There was Muscali turned up.
All your committee turned up.
Even Nyofandos, the president, was there, right? By that time, I left the car. The other driver was all right. I sat on the side, and Muscali looked at me, all right? He looked at me, and he wasn't angry, all right? He just looked at me and went, "That's it." Yeah. Right, he looked at me, feeling my arms, my legs, my hands. We've got cup final tomorrow. Right, he's going like this. He's going, you know, he's going.
And the committee had me up by the throat. They go, "Why'd you take him out? Why'd you?" We were just going for a meal.
See, they're getting all the stick, right? And then, but the driver who I hit, right? He was on his way to the clubhouse. It's a Salamina supporter going to buy tickets for the final the next day. Right? No, they got the ticket free. They looked after his car. Right? The police came. yeah, don't worry about it. We'll take care of everything. Right. I walked to my flat, which is just across the road from the incident. I woke up the next morning, right, and this is the absolute, I was shaking.
Yeah, I remember.
You know when they say when you had an accident, it don't really happen until the next day you feel start having it. And the next morning I was like, my arms were like that. And then Nigel was come to pick me up because we had a 9:30. We had a pre-match meal and all that. We had a meeting in a hotel. We were staying Flamingo Hotel. That's where we stayed. All the players are there. So I went in the hotel. We had something to eat. And by that time, I calmed down a bit. I told Nigel. Nigel went, "What? Yeah, what you doing at 9:30? You're supposed to be in bed." Yeah. He went. Them Inglesos, isn't it? Yeah, them Inglesos, isn't it?
He's those Chadlukia.
And then was in the hotel, and all that meeting, the breakfast, and before the team talk in the hotel, right? It was all geared towards me. The whole team talks about the team, but all the focus was on me. Because Muscali mentioned to the players that I had an accident last night and blah, 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 blah. And it's all geared to make me. Now, this is where psychologically comes into it, right? Because him and his manager had to, because I was one of the key players in the side. He had to get my mind out of what happened and focus on the game. Although it was serious. So everything was geared towards me, and the players were going, "Kenny, you're right. Yeah, I'm okay." And once they asked me once, they left me alone to deal with it. But everything was geared towards me. And when we left in the coach, listen. That's why I said we wish you had the videos and all that. When we left Mackenzie on the bus, right, and we make our way through Larnaca, right, when we hit all the way through Larnaca, because they didn't fix it weren't open up the roads with them, except for the Limassol Highway, right? As far as your eye can see, at the back of the coach, right? As far as your eye can see, all you saw was vehicles with red flags and all that coming out of it. Once we got onto Limassol Highway on the way to Limassol, now it's a long straight, and you can see miles and miles behind you, right? All you could see was a convoy of vehicles, red flags, everything coming out of it, and that lifted me a lot. We got to Exterior, mate, horns, smoke flares, everything. All right. We went in the changing room, and I'm going to stop there because the year before that, we lost to Io in the final. Even all my years in Salamina, we was semi-final, and the year before that we lost. We won in Limassol, and we lost on aggregate in Andonis Papadopoulos. And what makes me angry about the year before that we won the cup, I made a great tackle at the edge of our Salamina's 18-yard box, clean tackle, and the referee Haji Stefano, all right. Haji Stefano, right? He looked me in the eye, right? Looked me in the eye, and he went like this with his whistle, slow motion, like this, and he blew it, free kick. I all went bang, bang, goal, and we were at the cup final. I can. It's as vivid as I'm looking at you, both of you now on screen. It was and was at the cup final, so it was even more incentive for me to get through to the final the following year. And the journey to the final Exterior, we played quarterfinal. We played Algi. Algi. All right, we won that. Algi had a great side, absolutely phenomenal side. All right, in the two-legged game. The semi-final, we played Olympiacos. First game in SEB in Nicosia, we won 2-0. I scored both goals. And we played with one. Nigel got injured the first 5 minutes, so we only played one ex-centre, which was myself. But I play like a warrior, and we won 2-0. The second game in Andonis Papadopoulos,
2-2.
We won 3. It was 3-2. right? Because they scored, they were winning 1-0. They could have made it 2-0, but he had a shot. It hit the bar 3 times. Would you believe it? It hit the top of the bar. He went 1, 2, 3, and the guy, I forgot the foreign accent, or he was just about to head it in, but he didn't come down. Now, it's on YouTube, you can actually see the ball hit the bar up to, and he was just waiting to head it in. And I think he still felt, as he dropped the 3rd time, Kostagi Christopher, the goalkeeper, just grabbed it. It was unbelievable. And Algi wouldn't have scored, all right, and then we scored, and I scored, or was it Nigel scored, and I scored, and we wrapped up, we was in the final. But it's been a journey, and it was a well-planned journey from Muscali. Because every game, every training session, all right, every player's weight, everything they're doing now, Muscali documented on pen and paper.
Wow. Every
single player on pen and paper. You know, pressing. We talk about pressing now. We was doing that when I was my first year when I was at Salamina. And we pressed. We beat Abwell one game and Donis Papadopoulos. You know, and Haji Luka. Hey Kenny, Gani Stamada, Beknidi, Delius Beknidi. Gana Desonemi then Delius Beknidi. You know, he was like, you know, and we were attacking wise. Even that semi-final against Olympiacos in Nicosia, all right, we could have won 10-0. If you watch it on YouTube, attack after attack after attack. Yeah, they could have scored a few goals, but that was our philosophy in Salamina. We was always on the front foot, and you know, getting that final exterior was unbelievable. I've never.
But Kenny, that was a good Omonoia team. They'd won the league the year before. They had Haridu, they had Candilo, they had K.O.P.A. Maleko was a teenager at the time. They had Betsa, they had a good squad.
They were strong, and they were favourites to win that. You know, and you know, even our change room was right underneath Omonoia supporters, so we can hear all the noise. You know, and when we went out onto the pitch, you know, we warmed up at the pitch, and I looked at the supporters. And then when we actually came out for the game, right? There was a chicken running around, a white chicken. It was all painted red. Right, it was all painted red, and he was running around a rooster or whatever.
Do you guys know the attendance of that game?
Listen, Salamina supporters had the biggest end, underneath where the TV gantry was.
No, but I wonder
and
what the attendance was.
It was blocked. It was chock-a-block.
Right,
and you know, we won the game 3-2. I didn't score in that final, but I should have scored.
You set up this.
But I knew we was going to win. Half time was it 1? It was 1-1, right? Muscali didn't go inside the change room. He kept us out on the pitch because he wanted us to feel the atmosphere, right? And he done his team talk out on the pitch. We sat down. We weren't getting rollicking, right? We just sat down. He was just talking to us. And I looked at Daggy David in the eye. I was looking around. I said, Daggy, there, we win tonight. Tonight is ours. We win. You know when you just get that
feeling?
Yeah. I said, Daggy, we win. We're going to win. And that's what happened. We went out and we won the game. I don't know how some of these supporters do, because Exeter's got a big moat, you know, to keep the supporters away. Even Vavados was when we scored the goal, when we scored the first goal, Vavados jumped over the. He was on the pitch celebrating with us players because it's in the video, you know. And after that, it was just what can I say? It was just something that I've never experienced ever in my life.
I mean, we were so proud. I mean, you got to understand, like Salamina London, he's our friend. We went over to see him, and we told came back and told the rest of the team, you know what he achieved. I mean, it was an amazing achievement for everyone in Cyprus, but we still appreciated it even over here because that's what K.O.P.A was. Kenny went over and played. It's a professional level in Cyprus, but he's still representing us and he's still representing K.O.P.A, and so we feel proud for him. So it was a lovely thing. It was a great achievement.
And in what Nick's just said, I'll never forget where I come from. And every time I spoke to many reporters and over there, even when I was there the other couple of weeks ago, right, I always mention Nea Salamina and the K.O.P.A League.
Yeah.
You know, I'll never forget where I come from. I'll never ever. And all in every interview I've had when they speak about my journey, when I speak about Salamina, I said I came from Salamina, London. You know, and in the Greek league, the K.O.P.A League. I've always mentioned that. You know, and I'll mention it again in weeks to come. You know, I'll never forget where I come from. You know, and you know, going back to that final, even when we got back to Larnaca, where when we got to Larnaca, where Finneguias, that's the Nomea, where the police station is, right? From there up to, was it Mackenzie, where our clubhouse was, right? It's not far. You know, if you drive there, it'll take you, what, 3 minutes in the car?
That was packed.
You know, it took us about an hour.
Packed.
An hour. I was outside. I was at the coach door was open. I was outside with the cup. All the tourists was there. Oh, what's it? Oh, they won the cup. It was absolutely unbelievable, right? And even more when we got to the clubhouse, the president of Cyprus was there. Yeah, Vasiliou. Yeah, we saw some black, I don't know, black cars and all that, and he was there. Yeah. You know, and it just gave. It was just phenomenal.
And the most successful team ever for Salamina, he's trying to arrange us to go and play them. I'm not looking forward to that. So this is the trip that we're arranging to go and see. So, you know, they're all good players. I remember them at the time. They were great players. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult playing against them. But, you know, we'll see.
Well, that's a good segue. That's a good segue, Nick. Let's talk about this event that you guys are going to be hosting.
Right. Well, it's been in my head the last 2 years, and the reason being, well, it may be longer than that. The reason being, like, we're not getting any younger, you know, and I'm still keeping. Obviously, Nick pulls me down playing the 5-a-side or 7-a-side, or whatever, and several players have passed over the last 5 years.
Trevor,
you know, and even several of my friends have passed who's come to Cyprus to visit me when I was there. And one of them, especially a year and a half ago, one of them said to me, I said, look, next year we're going to Cyprus. Me, my brother, you, just like we did, and blah, blah, blah. We're going to see Mindos and a couple of guys over there and do what he used to do, right? And it never happened. He never got sick because he passed a month later. And those things, you know, it got me thinking. I went, well, let's try and get the boys together, right? Salamina here in London, the Cyprus, and play Salamina in Cyprus. Floros, Bambis, Atemis, all those players who play. They play vets because they play every so often in Cyprus. They still keep playing. So that's where it all stemmed from. So I go to Cyprus I'm in Cyprus about 5-6 times a year, right? And I'll be, even after April, I'll be going there about another 4 or 5 times this year. And I spoke to Floros and Bambis over there, and I said, "Listen, I'm going to try and do this." They go, "Yeah, it'd be great, no problem. We'll get the stadium, we'll get this." And I spoke to Nick, and I goes, "Yeah, great idea." Also, I played 7 years for Ethnikos. Right. Oh, I'll come back to that later on. So where it stems from is I just want all the boys to play together in Cyprus, right? The veterans, we're vets now, and to make an occasion. All right. And that's where this has all come from, you know. And we're there. Well, it's for 2 weeks. We'll be playing Sunday, the 5th of April. It's a 10 o'clock kickoff in Salamina's stadium at Mohostos, and then a couple of days later we'll be playing Ethnikos Akna in the Sagi Akna. It'll be an evening game. I think that's under lights, you know. And the players that's going to be playing for both teams is going to be Flora, it's going to be Vaso Mavro, it's going to be Sigelis, it's going to be Bambi's going to be in the sideline. It's going to be Christagi Christofi, you know. In Akna's side, it's going to be Castana, Gogazilia, Badizilia, Christoph Pasha-Lees, Mario Pasha-Lees. You know, I spoke to Okaz today. I spoke to Okaz. Okaz is going to be playing.
Oh, okay.
He's going to be playing for Salamina.
What are you doing to
I
us?
know. I spoke to him. Okaz, I spoke to him today. He's going to be playing.
Wow.
You know.
Okay.
You know, so that's what it's for. You know, so and you know, if it goes well, we'll see what happens. You know, next year. But I don't see why not. You know, and this is getting the players together. I was over there, was it a week ago? And obviously you're going to see some pictures later on. And speaking to the board in Salamina, the committee members, and we made a little video of Michael Michalagis. He was talking in the change room. I was talking, done a clip coming out through the tunnel. You know, I started juggling the ball and I pinged it to Bambi's on the halfway line. Bambi's beat 2 or 3 players, got the edge of the 18 yard, but was fouled. They will video all this.
And Guerrero's going to be on it.
Took a free kick, bent it in, clip stops. Now, Salamina putting all this together. It'll be out very shortly. The manager of Salamina London, will be Michalagis and Guerrero's. They'll be on the bench. So if you're not selected, it's nothing to do with me, right? And for Bonadis of Salamina in Cyprus will be Andreas Muscali and Manzouras and Bambis. They'll be there. So it'll be a good occasion. It'll be a really good occasion. And also Muscali will be manager of Akna in the Sagi. He'll be managing them. So yeah, that's what it's all for. Just to bonding, getting everyone together. You know, I'm in Cyprus. I'll take teams there every February and sometimes in April. You know, I've been taking teams to Cyprus for the last 6 years. I've been doing this. You know, been playing. Who we play? We play NX1, which is a university team. We played Asil. We played Ethnic Sakna. We played New Salamina U19s. We played Ayek. You know, we played Avgodu. We played Siletimbo. Yeah, all these. Aini Sibrinia. Yeah, all these teams I play every so often. You know, on a round robin little tournament. So Cyprus hasn't left me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, Kenny's got that affiliation with Cyprus. He's got obviously his close connections with that team. He still goes out there. They still, you know, admire what they achieved. So then it's down to us, like in London. Like, you got to bear in mind. I've got to phone players up and say, you guys, we got this idea. Kenny's thinking of playing the Salamina team that won the cup in 91. Was it 90? 90, yeah. So I'm phoning people up like Blondie, Tony Gostandinidis, HX, he's coming. Charlie's coming. So all these old boys, you know, it's amazing that you phone. We've known each other 35, 40 years, and you phone them and they say, no, I'm coming. And they're all out jogging, running, trying to keep fit because we're getting old. But, you know, I said to Kenny, bloody hell, you're doing a good thing for us. Because some of them ain't gone to the gym or run for 10 years and they're all out jogging. So it's a nice thing for us to try and get fit again and try and go over there and not embarrass ourselves because they are good players, but we'll try and give them a good game. And it's just nice to have that relationship, Salamina London with Salamina Cyprus. So, you know, we're looking forward to it. The boys, you know, phoning me. You know, I've got one of them phoning me saying, "Oh, Nick, I joined a running club last week," and I'm saying, "Oh my God, you know, be careful," but you know. So it's lovely. Danny Bailey's coming as well on the trip. So we've got, you know, Mario Gumbel Elvis is our goalkeeper. He was on TalkSport the other day, old Mario, singing his Elvis. So hopefully he doesn't go Viva Las Vegas on us and save the shots, but. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time, enjoy it, you know, and it's a nice thing that, you know, that hopefully, you know, we can get this game going over there. And this is...
So when you're out there, when you're out there, it might be a perfect time to have the Vets K.O.P.A 7 aside. That way you can't win it again.
Yeah, no, I don't
I'll
blame
go
you.
on to Jack and Kip and tell them when's the game. I'll tell them to do the Vets game.
April till the 1st till the 14th. But like I said, I mean, this is this is K.O.P.A. Again, we were talking about K.O.P.A. This is K.O.P.A. One of our players, Andy Lloyd, he lives up in Wigan, Liverpool, and he's flying from Liverpool to come to Cyprus to play in that game. I haven't seen him for 15 years. But you mention it, and they get that feeling that we had. You know, he goes, you know what, you're bringing back my youth. You know, just you phoning him and saying that, it's just you just relive those happy times that we had, because they never leave us.
Brilliant.
They never. I mean, our brain might say to our legs, do this, and they don't do them anymore. But at least we're trying. We're trying.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, guys, shall I bring up some photographs? Let's bring some photographs up.
All right.
There we go. Let's go. What we got?
All right. Let's go. The middle one, winners. That's my two. That's my 2 goals I scored against in the semi-final.
Wow.
Against Olympiacos.
Do you still have any of those shirts, Kenny?
You know what? The cup final shirt, I just found out last week, because after the cup final, when all the supporters came on the pitch, a taxi driver, Dinos from Limassol, Salamina supporter, right, pulled it off me. Oh, they wanted my boots, everything. They took I wore Diodora boots. They took my boots. I was walking around Exilios in my underpants, right? So I've got a hold of Dinos. Yeah, I've got a hold of Dinos. Got his number. I went, Dinos, you still got my shirt from the cup final? Oh yes, Kenny, I've got it. It's at my Yaya's house. So he goes, because he's coming in April. So he's gonna bring it, because he said he was gonna auction it. I went, no, don't do that. So he goes, so many people's asking me for your shirt. So I said, look, this is what you're gonna do, right? Because we got the actual trophy in the club shop, right, in the stadium. So I said, you're gonna take my shirt, all the players are gonna sign it, and you're gonna put it in a case and gonna put it in a club shop for everyone to see. All right, so that's what's gonna happen to the shirt when I see it in April. But
and you got to remember, I mean, Kenny forgets that they actually played Aberdeen in the Cup Winners' Cup, you know, at Pretoria. And I remember saying, bloody hell, man, look where he's playing in the Cup Winners' Cup. So, you know, when you talk about an achievement, I mean, you know, from a friend of ours, I remember...
Did you go to Scotland? You come to Scotland?
Yeah.
He came to Scotland.
I remember saying, you know, how many of us can say that? You know, can say that you played in the Cup Winners' Cup. You know, it's an amazing achievement. I mean, it's got those pictures that we got up there. We took pictures of, that was the cup that they won. And I remember there's a picture there with me, Vavs, and Arthur, who's our committee member. And like I said, we were just standing with him, just sharing it with him, sharing that feat, because it was an amazing achievement. It was a great achievement. So, you know,
I'm looking at now. You played against Theo Schnelders, Alec McLeish.
Yeah.
Hans Hillhouse. My God.
He forgets.
Yeah.
You know, this is an achievement.
Scott Booth.
Yeah.
Flipping hell.
Yeah. Alex McLeish asked me for my shirt. I wouldn't give it to him.
Good.
Get out of here. Stuart McKimmie as well. Wow.
Yes. Kinney. Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
We lost. We got beat. We lost. Was it
2-0?
3-0 in Exterior,
and 2-0
in Limassol, and 2-0 in Pretoria. Oh, we had chances. Christagi Mavro. Oh, we had chances. We had chances in Pretoria. Yeah, but it wasn't to be.
Wow.
It wasn't to be.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah. Bloody hell. All right, let's carry on with these photographs.
All right.
Wow.
Right, the bottom left, that's the Aberdeen Exterior with Christagi Mavro. Got Nigel McNeil, Bambies, Saraz, myself, Ilya.
Good players.
Yeah, the one. Oh, was it the one on the right?
Oh, the one. I tell you what, that one on the right makes me laugh. I mean, we were over there. That's me, George Vavs, and Andy Savard that played for Salamina London and came over to see Kenny.
Someone made the song, innit?
I'm wearing a sombrero. You know, like they got an FA Cup final song. They tried to make us do a cup final song for them. Oh my God! I mean, true. I remember that now. Look,
Yeah,
I can't believe I'm wearing that Mexican hat. Look,
yeah.
bloody hell,
And,
yeah,
and that's what Salamina, that bottom left one, for the people. That's what Salamina's all about.
exactly. Yeah,
For the people. Everything is for the people.
yeah,
Everything is for the people. That's their number. And I mean, I actually think that Salamina, I mean, we played Omonoia, right? But I think Salamina, any team from Farmagusta has got the most
Yeah.
supporters
yeah.
ever.
We were having this conversation with K.O.P.A.
We got the most
We
support
had
of
this
Salamina.
conversation with Kipros Kipriano, K.O.P.A.
Yeah.
I mean, recently we were talking about, we just mentioned it briefly when we talk about the K.O.P.A League. One of our players that is coming out with us on this tour is Danny Bailey. Now, Danny Bailey played for Exeter City. Like Kenny, he moved on to better things, and, you know, we're all proud of that. But Danny wasn't well not long ago. And Kip phoned me and said, look, let's have a little charity match for Danny. And this is exactly what, you know, Kip goes to me, Salamina and Omonoia are like the people's the people's team, you know, like from Famagusta. So we always had a good relationship with Omonoia. And Kip made his phone call. I mean, I remember, Mike, you played in that for Danny. And I mean, I phoned my Salamina boys. They were coming, we're coming. And, you know, just before Christmas, Danny called me and he said to me, you know, I'm really well now. I'm recovered well. I want to thank you guys. I said, you don't have to thank us, Danny. He goes, please, whenever you see them Omonoia boys, you thank them for me. He appreciates it so much. And it's such a great thing that we can make a phone call. We arranged that in 1 month. That's the strength of K.O.P.A League. That is it in a nutshell. So, you know, again, that's another indication of people phoning each other and go, we need you. We come and play this game. Let's raise some money. And they drop their hats and they do it. So, you know, it's hats off to all of us. Yeah, something to be proud of. Something to be proud of.
Yeah,
Believe
absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Right, we've got more. Look
Oh.
at that.
Oh,
All right, let's start at the bottom left. The four Mavros.
yeah.
Right. It was in the Cyprus newspaper one Sunday. All right, or was it Monday? Cosmos the Sport, one of them. The four Mavros. That's myself on the right. You got Vassar Mavro next to me. You got Nigel.
Wow.
All right, and Christagi Mavro in front of me. It's the four Mavros.
Well, you know what that just reminded you. Remember when West Brom had Laurie Cunningham, Brendan Batson, and Cyril Regis? They called them the 3 degrees.
The 3 degrees.
They'll have to call you like the 4 tops.
Yeah, and they'll Vassar Mavro and Christagi Mavro, they'll be playing in April as well.
Wow.
They'll be playing.
We've had it.
Yeah, nice one over there. The one in who's that? The one in me. What's that? Peter and
Pete Fiore.
Tony.
Tony Ponu, yeah.
Tony Ponu. And then you got me and Peter. That was at Danny's game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got the main one, our championship photo. That was a great day. That's a great picture. That one. Awesome players.
That stadium is historic, absolutely historic stadium.
Yeah, and all our supporters behind.
Lovely, look at that.
Yeah, the top one. Yeah, that was after we won after the final. We had a training session that we still trained the following week, and we had the photo day, Moscali in the middle. I mean, that family. That photo is just historic, just minted in the history books. Absolutely.
Memories, man.
Yeah.
Memories.
The one in the bottom left, I think that was Nigel. They're hugging Nigel after he scored against Abuel. I remember the shirts, Lafina shirts. The one in the middle with myself in the middle, got Bambi's to my right and Actemis to the left. Actemis will be playing in April. Great colleagues. And the one of me with with both cups. That was that year we done the double, Salamina, because we won
Super Cup.
The Super Cup. We beat Abuel in 1-0 in Macario in Nicosia 1-0. So we done the double that year. They all count. I'm like Mourinho. I don't care. I don't care. Cup's a cup.
And Mike, how about that sponsor, Lois Jeans?
Yeah.
They sponsored everyone, didn't they?
They did. They
Old
did.
school, man.
I think
Old
I've got an
school.
Omonoia show with Lois as, Lois and it as well. Yeah.
Same here, mate. Same here. Ah.
Right, the one in the middle, that's me as Montserrat national team coach. I was a player coach because I played for Montserrat. My dad's from Montserrat, and that was at one of Peter Fiore's college where we trained at. With that up in Ponders End, we trained.
Enfield College.
Pardon?
Enfield College.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the college, but that's where Peter was, and he got permission for us to use the training ground, and all the national team players were up there. The one on the top, my top left, is myself with Yodis Gomidis and Crystal Boyagis. That's when Yodis was manager of Ethnikos Akna, but now he's I think he's assistant to the national team in Cyprus. But we're good mates. I'll see him in a couple of weeks. The one in the bottom left, that's Flores lifting the cup on the night we won the cup, and all the Aberdeen photo and the two other Salamina photos before the cup and after the cup. The one on the right, that's recent. That was a year ago. That was one of my teams that was one of my teams that I take over in February. We played Ethnikos Akna in the Sagi, and I'm sitting down there as a coach, and I was watching them play. But Akna done a dirty. We were supposed to play their U19s, U18s, 19s, and what happened? That was a Sunday morning. What happened? The first team played on a Saturday. In Cyprus has got these big squads, maybe 25, 30 players nowadays, right? Mm-hmm. And they only play a certain amount. So I saw all the first team players warming up, right? Just going because they didn't play on the previous day. So, and we see all the 18s and 19s warming up. So when the game started, I didn't see any 18s and 19s on the field. They were in the dugout. I saw all these first team players, and the referee blew the whistle, and they were playing against my 18s and 19s. So I looked at Juref. The coach. I went, "What's this?" He went, "Oh, ignore me, Kenny. Sorry. Half time." Do you know what I mean? So the players that didn't play in the first team yesterday, he put them in and played the first. Oh, my boys are right. They were blowing out their backsides for 45 minutes.
How long ago was this?
What's that? Oh, that was a year ago.
A year ago. Okay, I'm just trying to remember who's the head coach, because I can have had about 5 or 6 head coaches in the last year.
They keep changing. Yeah.
It's all
but hopefully they just settled now. But so that was that. So second half, all the 18s and 19s came out, and we actually crossed the halfway line. So
lovely.
Yeah. So all right. I played 7 years for Ethnikos Akna, 3 years for Salamina. Okay, I played 2 years for Nea Salamina, which you can tell me that I'm in the green, sitting down there outside the dugout in Nea Salamina. The top pitch on the left, we was in Paphos. We had a away game, so the boys just sitting down there and just having coffee with my colleagues. And
Kenny, what year was that? Do you remember what year that was?
Nea Salamina. Oh, I'll have to. Oh, that was 90. No. Yes, 90. It was late. No. It might have been 2000. Might have been 2000.
So that would have been before Buffers FC were created, because there was 2 teams in Buffalo at the time.
That's correct. That's right. Yeah, it was way before Paphos FC. Yeah, way before then. Yeah. Agis Toliaz was a coach. Was my coach. And before that, I played 2 years for Nea Salamina, 2 years for Olympos Silafau. All right. Yeah, I was at Olympos Silafau. Some great players in there that all brought from previous first division. But that photo in the bottom left, that was Montserrat. That was our first ever international win. We beat British Virgin Islands 7-0. I had to take that picture. So that was a great victory for us. And obviously the one on the right, that was at Peter, his national team, at most probably, like you said, Enfield College. We played a friendly game. We played against the college. I put some of my national team, some of my 18s against Peter's college boys. So that's what that was that photo. But yeah, Derinia, I had 2 great years there. But I spent in Cyprus, what did I spend? 16, 17 years in Cyprus.
Wow.
Playing wise. And
Amazing.
that's coming from the K.O.P.A, the Greek league.
You've tolerated a lot then.
Pardon? Say again?
You've tolerated a lot.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you something, right? My first one, listen, Anonymous Pub, you know Anonymous Pub in Larnaca, where it was, it's not there yet. I went in there to see Gitas, the novice player. I met him a couple of days after on the Finneguiers. He goes, come down to Anonymous Pub. So I went in there. I had a souvlaki and I was leaving. I was going out. And this is only 5 days in Cyprus. A vehicle went past. And they, beep, 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 beep. Hey, Malaga! I didn't know what this meant. So, hey, Malaga. And I started waving like this. Hey. Right? And they started laughing. And I thought they were saying hello. I had no idea. So I said to Nigel, I went, Nigel, right? And he was in my hotel. I went, hey, what does this Malaga mean? I went, what do you mean? I went, a car drove past, right, with some people in the back, and the guy was at the window shouting, hey, Malaga. I started waving at him, right? And the geezer from the hotel, he went, that's not a nice word. So I found out what he meant, and I felt like a right idiot. I said, Nigel, they was laughing all the way up to where they were going. You know what I mean? And but I picked up the language. I picked up very quickly, all through football. You know, when I had the ball at my feet and someone shouted, "Hey, prostigate," and next minute the ball's gone from my feet. Within seconds, I heard that word again. I was man on and things like that. Prostigate, Alisara, prostigate, XCR, Unice, you know, and things like that. I picked up all through football, and that's the quickest way for me to learn, like everything through. Just like Muscali chatted, gets in it. On my first few days in Cyprus, that's how I picked up the language very, very, very quickly. But yeah, so let's see those photos. What is that?
Let's go.
Right, Nick, you can start off all these.
God, man, these are
right, that's one when we won the champions, isn't it?
Yeah, the bottom right is God. There's some players there. Trevor's in the middle. Kenny's behind Trevor. You got Blondie, you got my brother, you got me on the far left, and that's Pani Filakti that when they first left Omonoia and set up coming to Salema. So these were like, I don't know, these are about 3 years after I come. I was about 21 here, but we won the cup then. Yeah, I think we won the Challenge Cup then. We won the league on the bottom right, and there's a picture up there. See, on the top left is where you see Paul Pavlou. It's me on the far right, and Paul Pavlou and Serge are the 2 players that I was talking about. They were on their way out. That were great players originally, like back in the day.
That's Tony Constantino next to Blondie, isn't it?
Yeah, Tony HX is there. Tony HX is there. I think Tony Constantinides is the leading ever goal scorer in the K.O.P.A history. He's coming out on the tour with us as well, although he's got a kidney infection at the moment, but he's all right. Yeah. So, yeah. And the top right is us at the Veterans winning the 5-a-side.
Again.
Yeah. Which hopefully, you know, you might have another Veterans 5-a-side game when we're away. But, yeah.
There's a great side, great teams. Yeah.
Right. More.
Oh, wow. Right. Bottom left, as you can see, you got Bambi's. Gurez is in the middle, next door to Mihalagis and Bambi's with his white hat on. That's the top. The top left is that's the same. That's the same photo.
That's the best. And that's you with Theo Bragobiu.
Yeah, me and Theo. Yeah.
And is that Mike Yak there?
Mike Yak, yeah.
Mike Yak, from Badagiaki. So, yeah, this is from the Veterans 5-a-side team. And like I said, you know, this is our kits.
These are the kits.
Oh.
Yep. These kits all done, all ready. Ready tracksuit number 5. That's the tracksuit top. We got black, red tracksuit top, and black tracksuit bottoms. What we're gonna wear out, and to matches, and the shirts are quality.
Again, guys, this is what I'm saying about discipline. Kenny won't let us go. You got to have your numbers. You got to have your kit. We got to all dress suit.
Do it properly, right?
It's got to be done right. So this is obviously Kenny's his discipline side. We got to make sure, we got to look like a team, even though hopefully we can play well.
Absolutely. I mean, we play our game on the Sunday the 5th, but Saturday the 4th, Salamina are playing. They're at home. I think it's one of their final games. And before
because they got promoted. They got promoted. It's a full house.
Absolutely. So it's going to be, it's going to be a training session from. But Saturday the 4th, we're all going to be there. All of us going to be in that tracksuit. We're going to go out on the pitch, and they're going to introduce us all and explain why we're here, the games tomorrow and everything. So that would be great.
That's brilliant.
With all the supporters. That's going to be packed house because they already got promotion to the 1st division. So the formalities, got Salamina from London, and we're going to be playing tomorrow, and we're all going to be out in their tracksuits and everything. Absolutely awesome.
Mike, fun fact: the current sporting director of Salamina is Larko, who was Omonoia sporting director when we won the league last.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I spoke to him. I spoke to him at last week's game.
Yeah, he's a good guy from what I've been told. Anyway,
he's got a lot of money to spend. He got a lot of money to spend during the summer.
Well, mate, I'll tell you what. They completely overhauled the squad, overhauled the board, and they've done remarkable. Because when you get in that 2nd division in Cyprus, it's so difficult.
Yeah.
The quality of teams down there is tricky, man. It's very difficult. I mean, some teams that finish on one, Ayaz finished 3rd last season. Now they're battling relegation. So it just shows you like things can change like that in Cyprus. So
absolutely.
Anyway, Nick sent me a few photos as well.
Oh wow, God!
Oh, Nick.
Wow. Yeah, I mean this. See, like now, the photo on the left is Kenny in the Salamina. My first cousin sent me that because obviously we come from there. So that's my own family member sending me that picture last year. So that just shows you that they still remember that side. So it's unbelievable. And the one in the middle is me a very, very long time ago. Jeez. Well, yeah, that's me at 17 years old. I think that was in South London, Dyer.
Yeah.
Charlie Kiriakou took that picture.
Yeah, oh wow.
So yeah,
I love these kits though. I love these retro kits. We see them like when K.O.P.A League came on. We showed him the AL one. That was incredible.
Retro, weren't they? I mean, I remember. I still see supporters that go, "God, I remember you lot used to come out with your Liverpool." Because don't forget, Liverpool in those days were in their pomp, so that was like a Liverpool shirt, wasn't it? So we felt good wearing that because Liverpool were great at that time.
Absolutely.
That was a Hitachi Liverpool shirt, wasn't it? The Hitachi one.
I wish we had the Hitachi on there or Crown
Sandali Wines.
Yeah. Sandali Wines.
Oh, yeah. That photo on the right. That was that photo. That was 1980, 89. That was Salamina versus Abuel. Right, you see,
is that your river?
No, Adonis Papadopoulos.
That's Cyprus. That must be one of Kenny's.
Yeah, that's Flores. Referee Hadji Stefano. You can see him there.
Your mate. He's your mate.
Yeah, my mate. Saburic, Serbian. He's passed now. He was a great player. I think he was at Anophysis. Oh, he did go Anophysis after he was at Abuel. One of the two. But it was two of them, Saburic and Gokits, that turned. No, they went from Anophysis to Abuel. But that was an awesome game. That was a frightening game. That ended 0-0, that game. But you can see all the supporters in the stand. And that's only a small part of the photo. That went right round. So it was a high profile. It was hot. It was the intensity was phenomenal. That's a great. I've got that picture the size of 20 TV.
Yeah.
That's a great picture. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing photographs, amazing memories. That's
Yeah,
brilliant.
absolutely. I mean, I've just told you a fraction.
Idea would be all
I
right.
mean,
Imagine.
I'll just
You need
tell
to write a book. You need to write a book.
Well, to tell the truth, there is one. I've got a ghostwriter. There's one. I've been doing it for the last 6 months, so it's ongoing.
Yeah, no, listen, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you two guys
Yeah.
for what you've
Oire,
done.
don't be silly.
No,
Don't be
because
silly.
I've watched a lot of your podcasts, and you know it's a good thing that you lot are doing. It's a good thing you lot are doing because other people have told me they saw the other ones that you've done, and you know, God, I remember that. I remember that player, Chris Carley, mentioning that trip to Amsterdam. Tony Bonner with his funny stories. You know what a great player he was, and it's just you know what. All we got is our memories, and it's nice. It's a nice feeling to just take us back and remember these things, little stories, little things, and how great, you know, K.O.P.A was, and you know what Kenny's achieved in Cyprus. They're all achievements that, you know, the reason why we're sitting here talking because we all love football. It all boils down to that. It never leaves us. You lot love it, we love it, and the people that obviously are gonna listen to the podcast, they love it. So you know, we're all here for the same thing, and it's a mad sport, but we love it. And that's it. You know,
Just to finish off, I mean, we got the 2 games there, but one thing I didn't mention, we've also got a 7v7 game, which is against there's Salamina.
I don't know how he thinks we're going to play all these games.
We're playing that on IX new training ground, the one behind behind the courthouse.
Okay.
Yeah, we're playing there on it's only on the 4G. We're not playing the big pitch, and that's us Salamina, Ayek, Anofisi, Efnigosakna, and Salamina. So it's like 20-minute halves, rolling right, 20 minutes, 20. Yeah, so that's just 7-a-side, you know.
I think we're going to be coming back on stretchers.
We'll be coming back as champions, you know. But that's just the bond with all the Cypriots over in Cyprus.
Yeah.
You know, and you know they're all going to be. Some might play, some might be injured. You know, so it's going to be absolutely great. There'll be loads of pictures taken, which we want to. I said to everyone, when you take your photos, right, and your videos, we want to put it together and make a book or a documentary about it, because this is what, even when you leave from here, get to the airport, we're on the plane, when you arrive in Cyprus, get to the hotel, and yeah, just as from there, just document everything, because it's got to be remembered. Now we've got the technology, especially Mr. Apple there with his headphones on, he can work miracles. You know, and things like that. Yeah, so it's going to be documented, and if it goes well this year, we see what we can do. Maybe we'll do another next year, and we see how it goes. All right.
Well, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your memories, and I hope in the future we can do one big show and get all of our guests on, or maybe we can do an event. Mike, we've spoken about this at great length in the past, and I think
there's things happening in the background, and hopefully there's at one of the local big venues. Can't say too much yet. I was at a meeting recently. I was with Jack Marku. I was with Mario Michael. I was with Kip, and we were just having a dinner, talking about things we might do. And on the table next to us, they started talking about the podcast, and they started talking. I'm thinking, right, I hope you're going to say some nice things, and then Mario was listening, Kit was listening, and they were saying, then I said and then I went across, I went, don't you recognise, you're talking about the podcast? And he went, but you're not wearing glasses, because I normally have my glasses on. And they were talking about the pod and didn't recognise me. And then
Clark Kent syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm no Superman, though. No Superman. But it's just exactly what you're saying, that people are talking about it, they're enjoying it. So why shouldn't we get everyone, have a live event, get everyone together? Like, we know that when we have the Vets games, it's amazing. The football's great, but it's before the games, during the games, and after, especially when people are reminiscing exactly what we're doing. Imagine getting 40, 50, 60, 80, 100 K.O.P.A legends in a room talking about Coppa.
Brilliant.
So that's
Yeah.
what we want to try and put together. And minded to use your little black book, Nick.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. You know, I mean, it'd be, you know, you talk about people like K.O.P.A and Mario and Michael. Again, these are people, they've got so much, you know, experience in K.O.P.A. Lovely guys, always helping out. You know, again, we needed more of these. The Kips and the Mario Michaels and the Jacks. Unfortunately, we needed a lot more people like them. If anything was to carry on, it's a shame. It's a shame, but. Hey, you know, good times at that time, but it's a shame that we couldn't, you know, and it's nice this because we can maybe relive it and it still stays alive. Yeah, thanks
Absolutely.
to you guys and people like that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Cheers, gents. Thanks for the stories,
Well,
and see you on a 7-a-side pitch soon.
take care.
Well, that's it for another episode of This is K.O.P.A. We'll be back very soon.